All right, we are back with another tier list. It's been a little bit since I've done one of these. And I kind of wanted to transition from Halloween into, November. Because sometimes a holiday can get over and then you're just like, oh man, I kind of still wanted to do some of those things. So I felt like Monsters, Inc. is a good go-between, right? Of like the family fun of Thanksgiving and then the scariness and the monsters and everything from Halloween. So today we are going to rank the monsters from the first Monsters, Inc. movie. And we're going to be ranking them by how scary I think they are. So very top tier of those are going to be ones where I would pretty much just instantly think would die of fear, right? Of seeing them and everything. And just work our way down from there with that F tier being, things that I could easily punt across the room. Let's always remember our super F tier, which is always reserved for Coleman Trevor, the worst Jedi ever. So let's just go ahead and get started with this. We're going to be going through them alphabetically, the way that they show up on the Monsters, Inc. Wikipedia page. And we're just hitting from that first movie. No Monsters University stuff here for us. So first up, we have Baby Smitty. Baby Smitty is a little tiny baby monster. It scooches around. I'm going to put it in D tier. I think that it does have chomping power, as we see as it bites down on Mike Wazowski's hand, but I don't think that there's enough there to really be truly afraid of. Betty is next up in Monsters, Inc. See, I think she's kind of one of those C tier monsters, right? You look at her, and if she's not actively trying to scare me, there's no way that I see her and am terrified. Right? She looks like she's just kind of doing her own thing. I feel like we could be buddies even with her. So with Betty, I'm going to put you in C tier because, again, it would be odd to see a monster. But once I got past that, I feel like, we'd be friends. Next up, we have Blobby. Now, with Blobby, I'm realizing that, like, Hotel Transylvania maybe just stole this monster straight up from the Monsters, Inc. movies, because there's a Blobby in that, too. Though he is green and more important than this Blobby is. This Blobby, he's nothing. I think he's F tier. I don't know, like, if he can kill me, really. We don't have that information to go off of. But just looking at him, he's got a stupid little hat, and his face does not instantly strike fear. So he's going to be an F tier. Randall Boggs. I think he's A tier. I don't think that he's going to be higher than that. He can turn invisible. He can crawl up and down walls and stuff very fast. He kind of looks like a crocodile, which if I came across a crocodile, I'd be like, "Whoa, crocodile!" and I'd be afraid anyway. So, yeah, I'm gonna put him there. Though we have seen that a child with a baseball bat is formidable against him. So not too bad. Next, we have the monsters of the CDA. I think that they would be. I know maybe we're just hidden. Their true horrors are hidden behind their masks and everything. I think it makes them less scary for humans. Because, who knows? Maybe they they do have like 6 arms and stuff. I'll put them in B tier. So I'm a little, I don't know how to say Chalooby. Is that his spell? Chalooby, like a Charlie and a Blobby again. I don't know. This isn't like a slug dude. But he seems friendly. Like, I see him right off the bat. I wouldn't think again that he's out to get me. So he's going to be one of these F tier guys. And he's a little scarier than than Blobby. Just because Blobby, I don't know, man. This Chalooby guy, he could hit me with the mop at least. The chef from Harryhausen's essentially is like an octopus, really, right? It's just an octopus. So, like a big octopus that has a bunch of knives is scary. I think I'll put him in B tier, right by those, the CDA. So this is Chuck. And Chuck, to me, is scary. I look at him and I feel like he should have hair. He's like kind of like a naked mole rat situation where I just look at him and something looks wrong. He's got his extra arm and everything, and maybe it's his mouth. The mouth creeps me out. But I'm going to easily put him up in A tier. Dr. Fransenberger, he's on the news in the movie. And he kind of freaks out. He's like, "Wah!" I mean, you know what he does. I don't know what I'm doing here. He just doesn't seem scary either. He's scared of a baby. So, also, in Monsters, Inc., is it just children who are toxic, or is it any people? I don't know if we get that answer or not. And obviously they're not toxic, but like, did they think it was all people were toxic or just children? I don't know if they cover that. I'd have to rewatch those movies again, because I mean, I love Monsters, Inc. I don't know if I've said that before. Monsters, Inc. is one of my favorites. This guy's not scary though. He's going to be in D tier, above the scary baby. Next up we have Eric, another one of these slug boys. These slimy slug boys who just aren't that scary to me. I'm going to put him... He's going mid-tier. He doesn't have a broom or a mop to fight me with, so it's a little less scary. So now we have Frank. And Frank has always been an odd design to me because he looks like a rejected Mike Wazowski, right? He's green. He's got the one eye. His body type is very similar. But he does have that like kind of fur, like scarf looking thing, like mane, like a lion kind of. So I don't really know what the mouth situation is like. He could be terrifying under there. I think he's going to be like a C tier though. I'll put him right above Betty. Next is Fungus. This is a Frank Oz one. Good voice. Fun character. It's a nice little, like, a bad dude. Or is it Fungus? It's not Fungus, is it? No, there's an N in there. Fungus. Okay. He's got weird legs, like the weird bent backwards legs. So kind of like a chicken. If you stand your ground, I think he'd charge at you and then he'd stop. And then you could really just wallop on him. So, again, I think that these, like, most of these hard hat guys are going to just be in this C tier where it's like, yeah, I can see how it could be scary given the right environment. But then again, given the right environment, my 3-year-old is scary. She catches me in the dark or wakes me up in the middle of the night. Like, I jump at that too. So you got to go off more than just, could it scare you? Because to be honest, everything can scare me. So I think he's a little more scary than Betty though. This is the kind of monster naming that I like. Garbage monster. It just comes and sweeps up garbage and then eats it. Garbage monster is... It's bigger, so I think it does more than like those ones with the hard hats usually. I do like its eyes. I like how it's like kind of cockeyed and everything. I think I kind of like this one. I'm gonna go put it in B tier. Not quite as scary as an octopus with knives. Harley Gerson. This guy is, yeah, he's kind of scary. 2 legs, low to the ground. Here's a scare scenario for you, right? Imagine this guy takes your toilet out of your bathroom and you go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. It's dark. You haven't turned the light on. And you go to sit down and it's this guy. And you sit down in his mouth and he just eats you. That's a pretty bad way to go out, right? Knowing like would you even realize what was happening? I've been tricked by this toilet. This toilet is eating me. So yeah, this guy I think is an 8. And I think anything that can kill you in the bathroom, that's scary, right? Psycho is scary because you're scared to use the shower. Anything that's going to make me hesitant to go to the bathroom, that's good psychological damage. I'll put him A tier. Now we're to Interviewee 1. This is what he's named. Another slug boy. And I think second least scary slug boy out of all of them. He's going to be right there. Nothing quite beats Blobby's stupid face. This guy's small. Interviewee 2. It's just a bunch of eyes, really. It's a gag, right? It's a joke. His line is, and him showing up. But I do think he's a little creepier than the rest of those guys. He'll go bottom of D tier. Jerry Slugworth. Again, he's a working man. This guy, I feel like he's, you go out for drinks with this guy after work, even if it just happened to be he worked with you as a human being. This guy shows up at your work, and you might look at him at first and be like, he seems odd. But then, after one day, you're like, but we like Jerry. Yeah, Jerry is a monster, but like, he just works here. So, again, I'm going to say even less scary than Betty. But in a good way. Like, hey, it works out. The monsters stop scaring by the end of the movie, right? So it's okay if you're not scary, right? You want to be adaptable. I feel like Jerry, he's a good worker, and we like him. Here we go. Spike Jonze. Finally, a slug slimy boy who is bringing something to the table. He's got spikes. He's got scary teeth. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Spike Jonze. So let's go ahead and say Mr. Jonze. I think he is. He's gonna be a B tier. We're gonna put him up to B even. Those are some pretty big spikes. And then following up Spike Jonze with Kevin. Another kind of like little bitty, kind of slimy boy. I don't think he might have feet. I can't tell from this picture. And my memory is not serving me well when it comes to that memorable Monsters, Inc. character, Kevin. So let's just say, Kevin, you're going to be down here. I'll put you right there. Bud Luckey. Now, I like Bud Luckey because no eyes makes it almost less human, right? Makes it... it's the first monster really that's coming up that has no eyes at all. And so you're like, where is it looking? What is it trying to do? Plus tentacles are scary. Plus it's got that big mane thing going on. This guy is some good stuff. He's going to go up A tier, right below the scary toilet. Cecila Mae, one of my favorite Monsters, Inc. characters. Jennifer Tilly, coming in again. Great voice actress. Just super iconic. How scary is she? Now, she can be scary. I think that she kind of crosses that relatability, right? You're in the same way that Randall can be scary because she's got snakes on her head. And I've seen snakes. I can be afraid of snakes at times. They're unpredictable. And if one snake is unpredictable, like 6 snakes hanging off of somebody's head, or 5 snakes hanging off somebody's head, very unpredictable and kind of scary. I think I'm going to put her up in... I'll put her in B, right below Spike Jonze. Now, when you look at Marge at first, you might say, oh, this is easily an F tier monster. But I think that her small size actually adds to her fear factor, right? Because she's able to hide more. These big slug dudes, you see them coming from a mile away. You're going to be faster than them. Also, they're just big slug monsters. She could be hiding under that bed, right? And then I don't know what happens once she grabs you, but it could be scary for a moment or two. I'm going to put her up above the little baby in D tier. Miss Flint. She's training those new monsters, right? She's like, hey, you guys, learn how to be good monsters. I don't know what I'm saying. But I look at her. She's too businessy right at this point. I'm maybe in her heyday, right? She was a good scarer. She was something to be afraid of. But right now, I think that she's got potential because she's like looks kind of aquatic, right, with her eyes and everything. I'll put her right below that octopus with knives, because again, an octopus with knives is scary. All right, Needleman, here we go. Not scary at all, but love to hang out with them. What a great energy this guy brings. Him and his buddy Smitty. Not scary though, but I don't want to bum him out too much, so I'm gonna put him. I'll put him in C tier, right there. And then you really don't want to separate him, even though he's a little slug guy. Smitty, I'm going to put you up here because I like you. Respect. Ms. Nesbit, call back, Toy Story, right? She kind of looks a little scary. I don't know if it's her hands or the hair, like a normal-ish haircut on top of just a monster is a little unsettling. I don't think that's enough to go up into B tier. I'll put her right below Betty. But she's She's got scary teeth, though. They're sharp. So now we're to the news reporter. Not scary. Like, I don't know. Again, if monsters ended up being real, I'd be like, this guy? It doesn't take me long to get used to him. Like, he's the type of monster I'm like, they show up, we're like, yeah, like, this guy's cool. We don't even have to really adjust anything about life. Monsters just exist. Like, slug boys start showing up. I don't know how stairs and, you know, all that stuff works for them. So, but this guy, you know, he's cool. So let's give him, I'll put him right there. Theodore Pauley. Now this guy is a tank. And I think maybe the first, I'm going to put him in S tier. Why do I put him in S tier? For starters, he looks like something you'd fight in God of War. Like anything that could be a viable threat to Kratos, I'm like, yeah, I would be afraid of it. If this guy shows up in my living room, like, I'm terrified. There's no doubt he's throwing couches around. So yeah, he's obviously gonna scare me. Now Bob Peterson, he looks like somebody who thinks he's scary, and maybe to some people he is. Maybe he was like used to be scary, but to me, I think he's a B tier, and I think I'll put him right below Spike Jonze, because I mean, like, the teeth are big, sure, but comically so. So much so that, you know, like at the end of the movie, puts them in and they're like chattering teeth. And he seems to be fitting in there. No shade, like no hate to him, but Bob, you just think that's scary. This is the couple that gets their picture taken right before Boo shows up. I don't think they're that scary. I'm going to put them down in D tier. Ricky Plesuski, I think is how you'd say that. Here we go. Another toilet monster. Easily, I think, even scarier, because you can hide those legs even more. He could really get into that little nook in your bathroom where the toilet is, and you'd have no clue, right? I'm going to be turning on the light every time I go to the bathroom from now on because of these guys. They could be in there. Charlie Proctor, he's fine. He's just in there with those C tier guys. I'll put him right by Betty. Now we have here the pupils, the people that are getting taught and everything. These guys are a bunch of goofus. This pink guy is also kind of scary, though, but his eyes are going a little too wonky for me to actually be afraid of him, like our guy up here in A tier. So let's go ahead and put him, yeah, right there, D tier. So here we have Joe Ranft. And my thought on this guy is he looks a lot like Theodore Pauley. Not as many eyes and everything, but like if you had told me these were the same monster, I would have been like, oh, okay. But according to the Wikipedia page, they're not. So I think I'm not quite as scared of him for whatever reason. What is it? Maybe it's only 3 eyes. No, you know what? I think it'd be an A tier, but he's just a step down. Just a little bit of a step down. Josh Rivera. Or Rivera. I don't know, man. Just the name Josh kind of makes me less scared of him. Like, I looked at him at first, I'm like, you got wiggly arms, got 2 big eyes and some squid legs. Sure, maybe he's checking some boxes. But then it's like, his name is Josh. And it's like, oh, well, not as scary. I think I'm going to put Josh down in C tier. Here's Roz. S tier. George Sanderson, this guy catches a bad break. But I look at him and he's just not scary though. Even like at the beginning when they're like, we're scaring children. He's just kind of like, boop, 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 boo. I did it. But I guess it's because it's their job. But I'm going to put him in D tier. Sorry, bud. I mean, he is big. He's got that going for him, but Lanky Schmidt, I like that name. I think is oddly shaped enough to be unsettling. I'm going to put him above Cecilia. B tier. Here's another one of those masterfully named monsters, the sneezing monster. He blows fire out of his nose on accident. So I think that that's pretty scary. I'm going to put him... Again, we'll go above Cecilia. Here's Stuart. I think he might be top of C tier when it comes to scary because, again, he's got the little kind of like, I don't know, crabby-like legs. And he's just kind of a long stalk with an eyeball at the top of it. But I do feel like you just grab him, right? You grab him and you just like kind of whip him around and then I'll teach him. Again, all of this to be said, if any of these things actually showed up at my house, I'd probably like lose control of my bowels and go into the fetal position. So it's a little bit of a like, hey, let's pretend we're a little more, strong-willed, brave than we really are. But that's way more fun than just putting everything in S tier. Speaking of S tier, here's Sully. Yeah, he's an S tier monster. He's big. He's got scary claws. He's very loud. It'd be enough for me to scream enough to probably fill up one of those scream canisters. So I got no problem putting Sully in S. Do you know who else is going in S? Ted. This is Ted. He's ginormous. He could crush my house. There's not much here that's scarier than that. Yeah, he's S tier. Thaddeus, Phlegm, Bile. Great name. Not a very scary monster. At first glance, yeah, sure. But he's just so bad at it. So I think he's going to be a B tier. Again. Yeah, that seems about right. We could really like mess with the instructor here and just put him above her. I'm sure that she would care. Being a fictional character. Okay, here we go. Tony. He has a mustache, so I don't know. I don't think that makes him not very scary. I'll put him in D tier because I don't feel like he's this guy's dad almost. I'm put him in C tier above him because the mustache lets me know this guy's afraid of him because it must probably his dad. So, watch out for Tony. A monster with a mustache. It's just so funny. Claws Ward. Now these claws are scary. Though, when I look at this guy, I do just kind of think he looks like Dory from Finding Nemo. I don't know. I feel like he slashes something up in front of me. I'm going to be legitimately scared of him. He can go up. He can go up here, but not quite as high as the scary toilets. Henry J. Waternoose III. Here's the thing. This guy looks like you could shoot him with a tank and he'd be fine. Like, I feel like the crab parts of him are tough enough, whereas like just bullets are going to be bouncing off this guy. So I'm instantly like, I don't even know how we stop him. Like, I feel like you run a car into him, he's going to grab the car and like just kind of toss it over his head. Guy is a legitimate threat. It's a great design. I've always loved him. Waternoose is top tier in pretty much any tier list you put him on, unless it's like best fictional babysitters. S tier. Waxford, you know where he's going. Look at all those helmets he's got on. He's going in C tier. Mrs. Wazowski, coming alphabetically before Mike. She is something. She might be scarier than Mike is. I think she is. Like, I see that coming at me. I'm a little more afraid than just Mike. So I think I'm going to put her in B tier. Mike is not scary. It's canon. All right. He's not a scary monster. I'm going to put him in C tier. But where in C tier? Is he scarier than these dudes? Sure. But that's about it. I think that's where he goes. Sorry, Mike. But at least you made it on the list. We've got the Yeti. Is an A tier. Not as scary as a toilet. Sure. Not yeah. That's it. That's where he goes. And then lastly, the best named monster of them all, Zach. The C tier material if I've ever seen it. That's the list. Let me know in the comments below who's your scariest monster in Monster. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for everybody who has already. Really appreciate it. Yeah, have a great week. We'll see you next time. Bye.